Ryan stood quietly in the middle of the large hallway. Okay, the air was cold, the lights above flickering softly. Around him, soldiers moved fast, talking, shouting, and checking weapons. But Ryan's eyes were stuck on one thing. No, one person. Behind the thick glass cell, she sat on a metal bench. Her hands rested in her lap. She wasn't like the other alien prisoners. She had long, glowing silver hair that fell over her shoulders. Her golden eyes sparkled, not with fear, but with calm power. Her skin was soft and smooth, almost like polished moonstone. She wore a dark blue suit that hugged her tall body like armor made for a queen. Ryan had never seen anyone like her. And she wasn't just beautiful, she was unreal, a dream that somehow became real without thinking. Ryan whispered softly to himself, "She's so beautiful. I wish someone like her was my wife." He didn't know someone was listening. Suddenly, the alien woman lifted her head. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. "I heard that, human," she said, her voice calm, clear, soft but strong. Ryan froze. His heart jumped in his chest. He looked around. No one else seemed to hear her. The guards were laughing, talking, distracted, but she had heard him, a whisper from this distance, through glass. He stepped back, confused. "You heard me?" She gave a small smile. "Yes, I did." Ryan turned and walked away quickly. His face turned red. His heart was beating fast. How was that possible? Was she reading his mind? No, that's impossible, right? Later that night, Ryan sat alone in the sleeping quarters. He couldn't stop thinking about her, her voice, her eyes, that strange smile. She wasn't like the others. Something about her felt different, stronger, deeper. Older. Suddenly, his wrist communicator lit up. Incoming. Message. The screen flickered. A voice played in his ear. "Thank you for your words. You will be spared." Ryan jumped to his feet. "What? Who is this?" No answer. He ran to the control room, checking the base logs. No message had been recorded. It wasn't from inside. It came from somewhere else. He couldn't sleep that night. The next morning, Ryan walked past her cell again. This time, she was standing. She looked directly at him. "Are you afraid of me now?" she asked. Ryan swallowed. "No, just confused." She stepped closer to the glass. "You have a kind voice. Most humans here do not." He nodded slowly. "You heard? Just a whisper." "I hear more than words," she said. "I hear hearts." Ryan didn't understand. "What are you?" She smiled again, but this time it wasn't soft. It was sad. "I was once called many things," she said, "but now I'm just a prisoner." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "You're not like the others." "I'm not," she agreed, "but I'm not your enemy." Ryan paused, then said, "Then why are you here?" She looked down. Could someone wanted peace to fail before Ryan could ask more? The red alarm suddenly rang across the base. All lights flashed. Sirens screamed. Code red. Unknown ships approaching. Prepare for attack. Ryan ran to the command room. Outside, through the windows, he saw alien ships heading toward the base. "They're here for her," someone shouted. Guards rushed to her cell. She didn't move. She just stood there, calm, still, glowing faintly. Ryan looked at her one last time through the glass. Her eyes met his again. "Remember your whisper, Ryan," she said. "It may save your life." And then the power cut out. Total darkness. The base was dark. Only the red emergency lights glowed, blinking like silent warnings. In the halls, Ryan ran through the corridors, heart racing. The attack had started. Enemy ships were outside. Gunfire echoed in the distance, but in his mind, one question repeated over and over. Who is she? He reached the control room. Screens were broken. Sparks flew from damaged panels. Soldiers shouted into radios. Everyone was panicking. Ryan didn't care about orders right now. He opened a locked computer and typed in her prisoner ID, X-7, A. No information. He blinked, tried again, still nothing. That's not possible, he whispered. Every prisoner had a file species, origin, age, powers, danger level. For her, there was nothing. It was like she didn't exist. He turned to the communications officer, who brought her in. As the report. The officer shrugged. Top secret. Only commanders know. All I heard was, she surrendered herself. Peacefully surrendered. Ryan didn't believe that. She didn't look like someone who surrenders. She looked like someone who chooses when to speak, when to move, and maybe when to fight. Later, when things calmed down, Ryan went back to the holding area. Her cell was still locked. The backup power had returned. She was sitting again, her eyes closed, as if she was resting or waiting. Ryan stepped closer. "Who are you?" he asked softly. She opened her eyes. "You searched for me." He nodded. "There's nothing in the system. No name, no species, nothing, 'cause I'm not from your records," she said. Ryan frowned. "Then, where are you from?" She looked up at the ceiling. "It's far beyond your star maps. A world that no longer exists." He stepped back. "It was destroyed." She nodded slowly. "By those who feared peace." Ryan didn't understand. Why? Would anyone fear peace? "Because peace means power must be shared," she said. "And your leaders want all of it." Ryan felt cold. "Are you saying we're the bad guys?" "I'm saying truth has many sides," she replied. Ryan sat on the bench across from the glass. "You speak perfect English." "I've studied your people for a long time," she said. "I know your music, your stories, your sadness." He leaned forward. "Then tell me one thing. How did you hear my whisper?" She looked into his eyes. "I hear emotions when someone speaks from the heart. I hear it louder than any shout." He blinked. "That's not normal." "No," she said. "I'm not normal." He took a deep breath. "Were you a queen?" She chuckled softly. "No, something stranger. Some called me a goddess. Some called me a curse. But I was just a voice that asked for peace." Ryan asked, "Then why did they lock you up?" "Because I could end the war," she said. "And many don't want it to end." Suddenly, the lights in the hallway dimmed again. A message popped up on the wall screen. "Warning, unknown activity detected in lower sector." Ryan turned back. To her. "Your people, they're coming for you, aren't they?" She stood slowly. "They think I'm still a weapon. Are you?" Ryan asked. She didn't answer directly. Instead, she said, "I'm only dangerous. I'm forced to be." That night, Ryan couldn't sleep again. He kept hearing her voice in his head. Calm, quiet, but powerful. The way she spoke about peace. It felt real. He looked up her image on the security cam feed. She was sitting again, hands in her lap, glowing softly in the dim cell light. He whispered to himself, "Who are you really?" Suddenly, the camera glitched. For a second, he saw something strange. Not just her body, but light, wings, like energy forming around her. The screen went black. His communicator lit up again. "Ryan, the next time we meet, I will not be inside a cage." Ryan stared at the screen. Who was she? The sirens rang again, louder than before. Red lights flashed across the base. Ryan grabbed his weapon and ran toward the command center. He didn't need to ask, he already knew. They were coming for her. Outside the windows, alien ships flew through the dark sky like silent shadows. Energy shields sparked as explosions lit up the clouds. The enemy was fast-hand this time, smarter. They weren't here to destroy the base. They were here to rescue the prisoner inside her glass cell. She stood calmly, hands still at her sides. No fear, no panic, just stillness, like she was waiting for this moment. Ryan pushed through the crowd of soldiers gathering near her cell. His commander barked orders. Protect the cell. Let her out. She's more dangerous than any weapon we have. Ryan stared at her. She doesn't look scared, okay? She doesn't need to be scared, the commander said. She knows what's coming. Outside, the walls shook. A blast hit the far tower. Alarm screamed. Ryan's earpiece buzzed with chaos. She escaped, Ryan said under his breath. The commander heard him. If she tries anything, shoot her. As the others ran off to defend the base, Ryan stayed behind. He looked at her again. Eyes met his. You knew this would happen, he said. Yes, she replied softly. And so did you. He stepped closer. What do they want from you? They want their voice back, she said. Their hope. I was taken so they would lose hope. Ryan looked confused. You're just one person, she smiled. Sometimes one is enough. Suddenly, the lights died. The entire hallway turned. Black, no power, just silence. Then, boom, the wall exploded. Smoke filled the hallway. Through the dust, dark shapes moved alien soldiers in armor. They fired stun guns, dropped smoke bombs. Within seconds, the human guards were down. One of them shouted, "Find the Starbearer." Ryan stood frozen as two tall aliens reached her cell. They placed a strange blue crystal against the glass. The crystal melted the lock like hot butter. The door slid open. She stepped forward, eyes glowing faintly. Ryan raised his weapon, but his hands shook. She looked at him. "Oh, you? Stop me, Ryan." He lowered the gun. "No, but I need to know. What happens now?" She walked closer. "Now, I choose freedom, but I do not choose violence." Suddenly, a human soldier appeared behind Ryan and aimed a gun at her. "Stop. Step away from him." She didn't move. The soldier fired. Time slowed. Ryan shouted, "No," but the shot never reached her. A glowing shield formed around her body. The bullet melted before touching her. She turned slowly, raised one hand, and released a wave of soft blue energy. The soldier dropped his weapon and dropped to his knees, peacefully asleep. Ryan stared in shock. "You didn't kill him." "I don't want death," she said. "Only truth." She turned back to Ryan. "Come with me." "What?" He blinked. "I can't. You're not like them. You want peace, too." He looked around. The base was falling. His people were losing. He had no orders, no backup, no answers. He took a deep breath. "All right," he said. "Let's go." They moved quickly through the ruined hallways. Her people cleared the path. They reached a hidden exit in the lower level. Ryan followed her through dark tunnels. The air was damp. Walls shook as more blasts hit the base above. Finally, they reached a black ship, smooth, silent, alive, with glowing lines of light. Before entering, she turned to him. "You don't know me, but you believed in me." "I believed what I saw," he said. "And I saw someone who deserves to be free." She nodded. "Then you will learn more." As the ship lifted off, Ryan looked down at the burning base. He was now a traitor to his own people, a soldier without a home. But deep inside, something felt right beside him. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Thank you, Whisperer." He turned. "Why do you call me that?" She opened her eyes. "'Cause your whisper changed everything." The ship vanished into the stars. The alien ship moved silently through space. Inside, Ryan sat near a wide glass window, watching stars pass like falling snow. He had never been on a ship like this. It didn't feel like metal. It felt alive. Soft lights pulsed along the walls, and the air was warm and calm. She walked in quietly and sat beside him. Her presence always felt calm, but powerful, like the silence before a storm. "Where are we going?" Ryan asked. "To a place where truth still breathes," she said. He looked at her. "I need answers. I left everything behind for you. I need to know what this war is really about." She nodded. "You deserve to know." She touched the wall, and a soft light spread in front of them. Glowing map appeared to stars, planets, paths of light and dark. She pointed at a bright cluster. "This was my home." The planet was called Lyran. "My people lived in peace for thousands of years. We didn't fight. We built cities of light, learned to understand time, energy, and even emotions." "What happened to it?" Ryan asked. She looked down. "Humans found it." Ryan's chest tightened. "We destroyed it. Not you," she said softly, "but your leaders. Your government feared us. We had knowledge they couldn't control, so they came with lies. They said they wanted friendship, but they brought weapons." Ryan clenched his fists. "Why didn't your people fight back?" "We tried," she said, "but we are not soldiers. We are speakers, healers, builders." In the end, only a few of us survived." Ryan shook his head. "But our history books, they say your people started the war, that you attacked us first." She looked at him with sad eyes. "What you were told was not the truth. It was a story written by those in power. They wanted war, because war means control. Fear keeps people blind." Ryan stood and walked across the room. He felt sick. Everything he believed, everything he fought for it, was built on lies. He turned back to her. "Then why didn't you tell the truth before? Why let them capture you?" "'Cause truth spoken too early is not heard," she said. "I needed someone inside their walls, someone with a heart still open." "You chose me," Ryan said. She nodded. "Your whisper reached me before your words did." The ship slowed down. Outside the window, a dark planet appeared. No lights, no cities, just shadows and rock. "What is this place?" Ryan asked. "An old station," she replied, "built by humans long ago, then hidden. They came here to plan the war." The ship landed on a flat surface. They stepped out. Ryan looked around. The air was heavy. Broken metal and old machines were buried in the ground. Everything felt cold and forgotten. Inside the station, she showed him old files, locked messages, and recordings, proof that the first strike had come from Earth, not from Lyran. Ryan listened to secret talks between generals, scientists, and leaders. One voice said, "If we take the planet fast, they won't have time to resist. Their tech becomes ours. Their history, gone. Easy win." Ryan felt anger rise in his chest. "They wanted to erase your people." She touched his arm gently. "And now they will know we are still alive." As they left the station, a message flashed on the ship's screen. "Attention, human ship detected nearby. Possible pursuit." Ryan's heart pounded. "They're coming for us." She nodded. "They know you left with me. You are a traitor in their eyes now." "I don't care," Ryan said. "If standing for truth makes me a traitor, then I accept it." She smiled softly. "You're becoming stronger, not just in body, but in spirit." It's back on the ship. She stood in the center and closed her eyes. Her body began to glow again, light pulsing from her chest. The walls of the ship responded, changing color, adjusting direction. Ryan watched her in silence. He had never seen anything like this. "You control the ship," he said. "I am connected to it," she answered. "My people don't build machines. We grow them. This ship is alive." Ryan looked around in awe. "Everything about you, your world, it's so different." She looked at him with kindness. "And yet, your heart understood mine. That is why we will win this war, not with bullets, but with truth." The stars around them began to shift. More ships appeared, in the distance some alien, some human. The war wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning. But now, Ryan, finally, knew why he was fighting. Not for flags, not for orders, but for truth. The ship floated in a quiet part of space, far from war and patrols. Ryan stood near the window, staring at the stars. They looked peaceful, but he knew peace never lasted long. Behind him, she entered the room, her presence soft but powerful. Ryan could feel it, even before he turned around. "You haven't rested," she said gently. "I can't," he replied. "Every time I close my eyes, I see what they did to your people, and I see my people becoming monsters." She stepped beside him. "You're not a monster. I was a soldier," he said. "I followed orders. I believed lies." She placed her hand lightly on his shoulder. "But your heart refused to stay blind. That's rare, even among my kind." Ryan looked at her, truly looked. "How do you stay so calm, so kind, after all they've done to you?" She smiled, but her eyes were heavy with pain. "Kindness is not weakness. I choose it, even when it hurts." He nodded slowly. "That's what makes you strong." They sat together near the ship's control center. The walls glowed softly, reacting to her mood. The light turned warm when she spoke, cool when she paused. Ryan leaned back. What do I call you? Do you have a name?" She looked at him. "Your people never asked. I'm not like them." She smiled. "My name is Alira." He repeated it quietly. "Alira, it's beautiful." She looked down for a moment. "It's on my world. Names have meaning." "Alira means one who hears hearts." Ryan froze. "That explains everything." She nodded. "When you whispered that day, I didn't just hear your words. I felt your truth. I felt your loneliness." Ryan's chest tightened. "I didn't mean to say it out loud. You saw beauty in someone the world locked away," she said. "That's not weakness. That's humanity." As the ship moved gently through space, the tension between them shifted. It wasn't fear anymore. It was understanding, connection, something unspoken growing stronger every day. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep again. He walked quietly to the observation deck. Alira was already there, standing alone, eyes closed. She turned when he stepped in. "You feel it too, don't you?" He nodded. "Something is coming." She looked at him seriously. "They've found us again." "We have only hours," Ryan sighed. "Then we fight." "No," she said softly. "We survive." He stepped closer. "Why did you ask me to come with you, Alira? You could have escaped alone." She looked into his eyes. "Because I didn't want to run anymore. I wanted someone who would walk beside me, not behind me." Haas' voice dropped to a whisper. "You've changed me. You've changed me," she replied. "I never thought I could trust a human again." They stood in silence for a while. Then she reached out and took his hand. Ryan didn't pull away. Later, the alarm sounded. Enemy ship approaching. Human model. High speed. Ryan jumped into action. "They're coming fast. What do we do?" Alira moved to the center of the ship. Her hands glowed. The walls responded, but something was wrong. She gasped and stumbled. Ryan ran to her. "What's happening?" She breathed hard. "It's too much power. I used too much." "At the station?" "You're weakening," Ryan asked, eyes wide. She nodded slowly. "My body needs rest. My mind needs balance." Ryan helped her sit down. "I'll protect you. Just tell me how." She touched his chest. "You don't need to become a warrior. You already are, in your heart." The enemy ship drew closer. Ryan took control of the navigation panel. He had no idea how to fly this ship, but the walls seemed to respond to his thoughts. "Just keep her safe," he whispered. The ship moved, dodging lasers and enemy fire. Huh. Ryan felt panic, but also purpose. This wasn't just about escape anymore. This was about her. When the attack ended and the enemy ship was gone, Ryan sat beside her. Alira was resting, her skin dim, her breathing soft. He looked at her, heart heavy and full. "You're not just a prisoner," he whispered. "You're hope, and I won't lose you." Alira opened her eyes slowly. "I'm not alone anymore." Ryan smiled. "You never were." They held hands as the ship sailed into deeper space where a new future waited. Together, the stars looked peaceful from the ship. But Ryan's heart was not. He'd stood near Alira as she rested, her energy slowly returning. She looked weaker than before. The glow in her skin had faded. Her golden eyes didn't shine as bright. He hated seeing her like this. Ryan held her hand gently. "We'll find a safe place. You'll heal." Alira gave a small smile. "Safety is an illusion, Ryan. As long as the truth lives inside us, someone would try to silence it." Ryan looked out the window. "Then let them come. I'll never let them take you again." But even as he spoke, a strange feeling grew in his chest, a tension, as if something was about to go very wrong. A loud beep came from the control panel. "Incoming signal. Human source. High security clearance." Ryan moved to the screen and pressed a button. The face of his former commander appeared. General Harlex, the man who trained him, trusted him, and now wanted him arrested. "Ryan," the general said with a cold stare. Ryan stayed silent. "You were a good soldier once. You followed orders. You believed in Earth's mission. But now," Harlex shook his head. "You're with her?" "She's not the enemy," Ryan replied. "We are." The general's face hardened. "We gave you everything. We trusted you, and you betray us." "For her, I opened my eyes," Ryan said. "That's not betrayal. That's truth." Harlex's voice grew louder. "That thing beside you is dangerous. She isn't human. She's manipulating you." Ryan stepped forward. "She saved me. She showed me the truth. That makes her more human than you." The screen went dark. Alira had heard it all. She looked at Ryan. "He won't stop now. He'll come in person." Ryan nodded. "Then we fight." "No," she said softly. "You don't understand. He will come alone, not with an army. He knows I'm too weak to fight. He'll offer you a choice." Ryan frowned. "What choice? Me or your freedom?" Hours later, a ship appeared in the distance. It was small, fast, alone. Ryan stood outside the landing bay. He didn't carry a weapon, but he carried something stronger now. Conviction. The general stepped out, wearing full uniform. "No army, just him." "Ryan," he said calmly, "you can end this." Ryan didn't move. "I already did. The moment I left Earth, I chose a different path." The general stepped closer. "We'll forgive you, wipe your record clean, let you come home, but only if you give her to us." Ryan's jaw tightened. "So this is it. You still see her as a threat?" "She is," the general said. "She carries secrets, weapons inside her mind, things Earth needs." "She carries hope," Ryan replied, "and Earth doesn't deserve it." The general looked disappointed. "Then you leave." "Me, no choice." He raised a small gun from his coat and fired. The blast was quick, but Ryan was quicker. He moved in front of Alira. The energy hit him in the chest. Pain exploded through his body. He dropped to his knees. Alira screamed, running to him. "Ryan." Her hands glowed, pressing against his wound. The general aimed again. "Step aside, creature." But Alira looked up with eyes filled with light and power. "No," she said. "Not this time." The ship shook as energy burst from her body. The walls lit up like stars. Her full power returned not from anger, but from love. The general was thrown back by the force. He crashed against the wall, his weapon flying from his hand. Ryan lay still, blood on his chest. Alira held him close, crying softly, "Stay with me, please." He opened his eyes slowly. "I'm not going anywhere." She smiled through tears. "You're stronger than I thought." "You make me stronger," he whispered. Later, the general was locked in a containment field. He didn't speak. He only stared at them in silence. Ryan stood beside Alira, his wound healing slowly. Her power had saved him again. "You knew he would try to turn me," Ryan said. Alira nodded. "But I knew your heart wouldn't break." Ryan looked at her. "You were right." She placed her hand over his. "The bond between us is unbreakable now," he smiled. "I don't care what the galaxy says. I stand with you." Together, they looked at the stars. A war still waited, but now they were ready. Months had passed since the betrayal. The war between humans and Alira's people had changed. It was no longer just a war of weapons. It had become a war of truth. And truth was spreading like fire in the dark. Ryan and Alira now lived in the floating city of Valora, deep in neutral space. It was a place where refugees from both sides came to find peace. No flags, no armies, just people who were tired of fighting. Ryan stood on a high platform, looking over the glowing city. Lights danced across the sky. Ships flew gently through the air, like birds returning home. Alira stood beside him, her golden eyes shining softly. "In the night, you helped build this place," she said. Ryan shook his head. "We did." People from many species walked together in the streets below. Some were human, some were not. But they laughed, traded, and lived together without fear. It had started with a whisper. One quiet moment between a lonely soldier and a powerful prisoner. That moment had changed everything. Ryan smiled to himself. "I still remember what I said that day." Lyra looked at him. "So do I." "You heard every word," he said. "I always will." Inside the city's main hall, a peace meeting was being held. Leaders from both sides sat at a round table. No weapons, only words. Alira spoke clearly and calmly. "This war began with fear, but fear can end if we choose to listen." Some human leaders looked uncomfortable, others nodded slowly. Ryan stood behind her, proud. She was no longer a prisoner, no longer a hidden secret. She was a voice of peace, and now others were listening. After the meeting, people gathered around her. Some asked questions, some just wanted to be near her. Ryan watched as she smiled, guided, and comforted each one. He had once called her beautiful. Now he saw something even deeper. She was hope. Later that evening, they walked alone through a quiet garden built inside the ship's dome. Stars twinkled above. Flowers from many planets glowed in the dark. Alira stopped and turned to Ryan. "You know, many still think we are strange." Ryan chuckled. "Let them think what they want. I don't care what the galaxy believes." She tilted her head. "What do you believe?" Ryan looked into her eyes. "I believe that the moment I saw you, my life changed. I whispered something. Foolish back then, but now I mean it with my whole heart." Alira smiled. "Say it again." He stepped closer. "You're so beautiful. I still wish someone like you was my wife." She laughed softly. "Then why not stop wishing? And just ask." Ryan froze, then smiled wide. "Wait, are you serious?" She nodded. "I've walked through fire, pain, and lies. But you stayed with me. That is love, isn't it?" He took her hands. "Yes, it is." In the weeks that followed, peace talks continued. Not every leader agreed, but the message was clear. People were tired of war. They wanted something better. News spread of Ryan and Alira souls from different worlds, united not by power, but by heart. Their story gave people hope. Some called it a miracle. Others called it destiny. But to Ryan, it was simple. He had whispered a truth in the dark, and someone had heard him. One quiet night, Wright stood once more at the window, watching the stars. Alira came up beside him. She rested her head on his shoulder. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. He smiled. "The future." She looked up. "Does it scare you?" "No," he said, "because you're in it." She closed her eyes. Peaceful. Then it will be a future worth fighting for. Above them, stars moved slowly through the sky. Somewhere far away, the war still burned. But in this small corner of the universe, love had won. And from that love came peace.